Good afternoon, everybody. I'm attorney Marjorie Brunelli. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about consultations, because a lot of people call the office and will ask me, do I need to schedule a consultation? Can I talk to you now? Do you offer free consultations? Do I have to pay? How does it work? So I'm just going to explain the process to provide that information. It's very simple. I always tell people, make sure you write down all your questions, anything that you're confused about, that you're unsure. Make sure you make a list, write everything down, and that way the consultation will be more efficient. So we're not wasting time with you trying to remember what you're unsure about, you're confused, you're not understanding, because sometimes people get nervous when they sit in front of an attorney. So just write everything down, make a list. And if you have any documents that I need to review, I always ask that you please scan and email everything to me at least 48 to 24 hours before the consultation. Now, as to free and paid consultations, certain cases that are more complex. For those cases, I always recommend a 1-hour paid consultation. And those cases are, for example, divorce cases that are probably going to be litigated, where the parties have minor children as well as property that needs to be divided, or some other family law matter that's more complex and most likely again will be litigated. So for those particular cases, I do recommend the paid consultation. And obviously the hourly rate, I'm not going to disclose that on video, but you can call the office. All my information is up in the bio. The phone number here is 954-474-7703. And I'll explain to you how that part works as to costs and everything else. And other cases that I also recommend a paid consultation are, for example, business litigation. So if you have a breach of contract, or maybe you have issues in a partnership, or anything business related that's more complex. For those particular cases, I also recommend a 1-hour consultation. So how does it work? Right now, I'm not seeing people in person because of the whole virus pandemic thing. I cannot afford to get sick, because if something happens to me, all my clients are going to be in trouble, because if I'm sick, I cannot represent them properly. So I'm avoiding physical contact as much as possible. Obviously, there are certain exceptions where certain documents need to be executed. I do have that exception. Otherwise, all my consultations are either via telephone, but most likely they'll be via video. It's an application called Zoom. It's the same video conferencing application that the judges are using, because the courts are still closed. So the same way you can see me here on video, you're gonna see me during the consultation. I'll be able to see you as well. So it's just the same as if you're sitting in front of me in my office. So that's what I've been using for consultations during these complicated times that we're living in. And then what else can I tell you about the consultation? So I'll analyze your documents, I'll answer all your questions, I'll try to explain and clarify any doubts, any questions that you have, and we're going to come up with a plan of action that's the most efficient and hopefully one that can be put in place quickly to resolve your problems as soon as possible. My main goal as an attorney is always to try to accommodate my client and do everything that I can to make it as efficient, as quick, and as economical as possible. Obviously, it doesn't depend just on me. Sometimes, unfortunately, if a case is litigated, the other side sometimes causes a lot of unnecessary litigation. So it doesn't depend just on me, it depends on the other side as well as the judge. But if it's up to me, I'll try my best to make it as efficient as possible, because that's really, the goal is to get everything resolved as soon as possible in order not to incur unnecessary costs and frustration and stress, because litigation is always very stressful for the client as well as for the attorney, everybody involved, obviously. So once we analyze everything, come up with a plan of action, if you decide to hire me, I'll send you a retainer agreement that you will have to review and sign. And obviously I'm gonna give you an estimate as to the attorney's fees and costs, and you have to make a deposit. So once you sign the agreement and deposit is made, then your representation starts. And then it's really, a case-by-case basis, and I'll always keep you informed, and we'll be updating you on the progress of the case as often as is necessary. But I just wanted to give you all an understanding of how a consultation works, just to clarify that a little bit. And again, if you need anything, all my information is up in the bio, and I hope you all have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.